and welcome back to my channel. My name's Catherine and this is a bit of a different video to what I normally do because I don't know if you can guess, and you probably also saw the title, but I've just come back from a trip to Disneyland Paris with my boyfriend. We spent 2 days in the parks, 2 days in Paris itself, and we just had the most amazing time. So I thought today I would show you the bits that I picked up when I was there, mainly because before I went I did so much research into merch, to the point where I literally had a shopping list that I was going into the shops in the parks and being like taking things off it. But for me that really worked because I'm way too indecisive to be faced with all of the Disney merch and then just pick it up there and then and decide in the moment. So if you're a bit like me, or if you're just interested in what the merch is like in the parks at the moment, this is a video for you. So without further ado, I should just get into showing you everything that I bought. So I might as well start with the ears that I have on at the moment. These are the only pair of ears that I bought in the parks this time, but they were the ears that I wanted, so I got the ones that I was planning on getting anyway. They're just the classic mini ears. I have quite a few ears now, but I have never had just the red and black ones. So when I went to the parks I knew I either wanted these ones or the sequin red and black ones. I didn't actually see those anywhere, but these ears and the Sorcerer Mickey ears were literally in every shop, every cart outside, like you couldn't miss them anywhere. So if you're planning on getting these ones or the Sorcerer Mickey ones, then you're in luck. But other than that, there wasn't a massive selection of ears. I was kind of underwhelmed with the selection of ears that there were. I didn't even see any 30th anniversary ears. The only ones that I did spot in the shops there were the bridal ears with the veil, and then there were some other like autumnal, they might have been Bambi ears, they were kind of like floral ears, but I wasn't too interested in those anyway. Lots of people around the parks are wearing different ears, so I don't know if they were just from previous trips or if they went into some of the shops that I didn't see those ears in. But yeah, I got the ears that I wanted anyway. These are so cute, they go with every outfit, so I knew I wanted to pick up a pair of them, and they were €20, which I thought was really good value, compared to especially if you look on Shop Disney, where the ears are like £24. So yeah, these are the ears that I got, and I'm going to keep them on for the rest of the video. Now that I've shown you that, I might as well get into the massive bag of everything else that I've bought. Everything else fit in this bag, so I didn't do too much damage, but yeah, this is a pretty large bag. At Disneyland Paris they don't do plastic bags anymore. If you want a bag, you have to buy a reusable bag. The 3 sizes that they do are small, which is €2, medium, which is €3, and this is the large bag, which was €4. I chose this one mainly because I knew I was going to be buying a lot of merch anyway, and also I'm planning on using this as my grocery bag, like a bag for life kind of thing, so I wanted the biggest size there was, and I didn't think there was much of a size difference between the small and the medium. The medium was pretty small as well, so yeah, I'm happy I went with this one. There is actually a bit of a story behind this bag. So I bought the reusable bag on the first day that we were there. I did some shopping at the end of the first day in Disneyland Park, and I then took the bag home, and then the next day I brought it back to the parks so that I didn't get caught out and have to buy another bag because I knew I was getting some bigger items. So I did all the shopping, I had loads of stuff in it, and then I was walking just across the top of Main Street to get a spot for the fireworks in the evening, and there were 2 girls there smoking cigarettes, and this wasn't a smoking area, but they burnt a hole in the bag, in my reusable bag, which I was really gutted about because I was kind of angry that they were just smoking out in the open anyway, but then when they burnt a hole in the bag I was like, yeah, that's not cool. But luckily I went to the Emporium afterwards, and the lovely cast members there heard my story and they swapped the bags over, so I got a brand new bag right for going home. So the other one was actually quite folded up from being in my bag the whole day, when I was like carting it around the parks empty. So this is actually in a lot better condition than the original one that I got. But yeah, the bag was €4, and yeah, speaking of the Emporium, I will show you what I bought in the Emporium. So one of the big purchases that I wanted to make on this trip was a Spirit jersey. I've never had a Spirit jersey before. I did look for them in Disney World the last time I was there, which was 2018, so 5 years ago. But I was younger then, didn't have as much money, and also I just didn't really see one that stood out to me. This time I knew exactly which one I wanted, and it is the 30th Spirit jersey. I wasn't sure on the white at first when I saw it in people's hauls, but then gradually as I was kind of working up to going to the trip I was like, I know this is the one I want, especially because of this writing on the back. I just think the design is so cool with all of the like rides making up the letters. I've seen they do this for the 50th anniversary at Disney World, but it's just not as good. They've only got the Disney in the ride font, and then they just have World written underneath and a little 50 at the top. It just looks really haphazard. So yeah, I love this one. It's in the 30th anniversary colours. It's got 30 years of magic down the side, and I got this in an extra small in the Emporium. They had all of the sizes there, so don't be too worried if you don't think you're going to get the size that you want. I saw loads of them in the Emporium, and I think I also saw them in World of Disney. There were a couple of other shops that had them in, so yeah, if you're looking for one of the 30th anniversary Spirit jerseys, I don't think you're going to have too much trouble finding it, but I'm super happy that I got mine, and I can't wait to start wearing this around. So the Spirit jersey was €65, and yeah, that's kind of the average price for all of the Spirit jerseys. It's not just for the special edition 30th one, they're all around that price. The other item that I got in the Emporium, my boyfriend actually got for me as a Christmas gift, and it is this castle necklace. So I'll show you there. It's the kind of classic castle necklace that everyone was getting probably since around like 5 years ago, because I remember I'd seen it before I went to Disney World, but I never got it there, and I'm just so happy I've got it now. I wear this necklace all the time, which is a little bit smaller than the castle, but I might swap it over or just keep this one for special occasions or when I'm going to the parks and stuff. And this was the red colour, which was €22, which I thought was quite good for it. And I don't know if it's stainless steel, it doesn't say, but yeah, really excited to start wearing this. I just think it's a really nice little bit of jewellery that I managed to pick up. After showing you that, I might as well show you the other jewellery item that I picked up. This one was more pricey, but I did get a Disney Pandora charm. I love the little box that it comes in, it's so cool. And the one that I decided to get was the bead charm of the castle. I don't know if you'll be able to see that properly, but it's got the castle in pink, and then it's got little sparkles in blue down the sides, and then on the very back it says Disneyland Paris, and it is a park exclusive, so I was really happy to get that. And this was €69, so it's a lot of money, but then I was thinking that's kind of similar to what you're paying for Pandora charms in the UK, especially when you put the Disney label on them, and it's a park exclusive. I really wanted one for my Pandora bracelet anyway, so yeah, I think that's money well spent. Kind of moving on from the jewellery to some other little bits that I got. I picked up one pin on this trip. I'm not a massive pin person, like I don't do pin trading or anything, and when I went to Disney World I got one pin, which was a special like anniversary edition Peter Pan pin, because I love Peter Pan and I just thought, you know, there's only one chance I have to get this. And then the pin that I chose from Disneyland was the 2023 pin. I just think the colours are so cool. It's going for that like 70s vibe that's really in at the moment, and I thought what better way to commemorate the year, because I'm not a big fan of like dated merchandise and stuff, because I feel like you can't really wear it around that much. I know I've got the 30th Spirit jersey, but I think I'm going to get a lot of wear out of that at home, but I wouldn't have gone for the ears or anything that actually say 30th on them, because I just feel like you're not going to get much use out of them unless you're planning on going to the park during that time multiple times. But yeah, I love this pin. It's just got the castle on it, and it's kind of this sort of like off oval shape, and this was in the yellow band, which was €11. And I picked this up in Constellations, which is the shop that you go into when you come out of the Buzz Lightyear ride in Discoveryland. So yeah, super happy with this. Another one of the kind of like trinkety, souvenir-y items was this, which is meant to be for a lanyard that you sort of clip on. There's a little clip there, but I'm planning on using it as a keyring. It is a Big Thunder Mountain little metal charm. It was €5, and this was one of the purchases that I didn't actually plan for. The story behind this is that me and my boyfriend went on Big Thunder Mountain 2 times, and both times were just crying with laughter over various things, like just the whole experience of being on the ride, being in the queue. And I just felt so happy when I was on it. It was like one of the highlights of my trip, going on that ride twice. We did it once in the day and once in the dark, so that was really cool as well. So I just thought I'd get a little something to commemorate this. I was trying to choose between this and there was a Big Thunder Mountain t-shirt, which was €20, and I just thought this is a bit cheaper, and also I don't know how often I would wear the t-shirt, whereas this I can keep on my keys and always look back on it fondly and remember the first time that my boyfriend went to Disneyland, which was really cool to experience with him. So, other things that make me think of other people were some gifts that I got. So, I got something for each of my siblings because I'd spoken to them about it beforehand and I was like, is there anything that you think you'd really want? And my sister, who is 13, said that she really likes The Lion King. So, in Adventureland, there is a shop that is completely dedicated to The Lion King. So I thought, oh, hello. My cat's come to see me. You alright? You going to stay here or are you going to go? So yeah, as I was saying, my sister said that she really likes The Lion King, so I managed to find a shop in Adventureland which is called La Giraffe Curieuse, like the Curious Giraffe, and it was right next to like the Agrabah Bazaar entrance to Adventureland. It was just filled with Lion King stuff, so I was looking around in there for something that I thought she would like, and I eventually decided on this Simba notebook. Because she's quite creative, she likes writing stuff down. The pages inside are just lined and then they have these little kind of sunbeam things in the corners, which I thought was quite nice. And yeah, it's this kind of like holographic style design, and that was €8. So I've given this to her already, I've just stolen it back from her room to show you. But yeah, she really enjoys this. And then for my brother, I decided to get him a mug. I got him this mug which has his initial on it, and the reason that I chose this is because the last time I went to Disneyland Paris was when I was 10. It was in 2014, and I was actually in Disneyland Paris on the day of his birthday. I went on a scout trip, so I bought him a birthday present from Disneyland Paris just under 10 years ago, and it was a mug with his initial on it, and that mug has been in the dishwasher way too many times. The design has kind of come off, so I thought it was about time for him to get a new mug with his initial on it. So it's got Disneyland Paris on the inside there, and it's got this kind of comic strip design all over it, and then on the back it just has Mickey sticking his hand up. And it's a nice sizable mug. He said he really wanted a big mug, and the kind of size jump was this, or a mug which was literally like a bowl, like a mixing bowl size. So I thought this was probably the more practical out of them, and he's really happy with it. So yeah, this was €10 for the mug, and I'm glad it didn't break on the way home. The other fragile thing that I was really glad didn't break was this, which I will unwrap for you now. So I collect shot glasses, and I just had to pick one up in Disneyland. I got one in Paris as well, and then I was looking for one in Disneyland. I eventually found one in Walt Disney Studios, so I've got the little Mickey with his camera there, and it does say Disneyland Paris underneath. But I just couldn't find one in Disneyland Park, other than a 30th anniversary one which was €12, and I just thought it's a bit much for a shot glass. Whereas this one was €4, which I thought was really good, especially considering the size of it. That's kind of average for what you're paying for a souvenir shot glass. That's what I've paid in most of the cities where I've got my shot glasses from, between like €2 and €4. So I was really happy with this, and it does say Disneyland Paris, so it's not the end of the world that it has Walt Disney Studios on. I'm kind of treating it like that's one park and that's the other park written on there. But yeah, this is really nice, and I got this in the Tower of Terror gift shop. Now I also got something else that I knew I was going to get in the Tower of Terror gift shop, which I'll show you now. So if you didn't know, I study film and TV production at university, so when I spotted this, I just thought it was the cutest little thing to display. It is a classic kind of slate that you use for films, but it's got Walt Disney Studios on it, which is kind of cool because it's both the name of the park but also the name of the production company, Disney. So yeah, there was one out that I had a look at before I chose this one. It is quite thin, it's for display use only, but the top does actually slap down, make a noise. So yeah, this was €20, and I'm going to display this in my room at uni. I just think it's so cute. It shows that I'm really into Disney but also into film, so it's kind of both sides of the things that I really enjoy. Now, those two items I had planned to buy in the Tower of Terror gift shop, and when I went to the till, I had a look at their little offer, which they have in most shops, where if you spend a certain amount, you get something for a reduced price. So for example, in the Star Wars shop, They had like a throw blanket that went down to like €15. They're still doing the classic Mickey soap dispenser in a lot of shops as their offer. But in the Tower of Terror gift shop, their offer was on a ride photo. So we hadn't bought any ride photos just because the digital download versions are €15 alone, and we just couldn't justify it. Even though we had some nice ride photos, we just kind of took the pictures of them with the watermarks on. But when we came off Tower of Terror and came into the gift shop and I bought those items, I just thought the offer was too good to pass up. So the offer was for a framed photo, which would usually be €35, and instead, if you spent over €17, you got it for 10. So I'll show you the photo that we got because, like I said, I couldn't pass up on this offer. And here it is. It's massive, like you can see how big it is. This photo is so nice, like we just look like we're having so much fun, and the frame has a proper stand. It is made of cardboard, but it has a proper stand, and it's also got this like metal hook so you can hang it up. The design of the frame is quite cool as well, with the lightning and the keys and everything flying around. So yeah, for €10 I just thought this was an absolute bargain. That's cheaper than if we would have paid for the digital download, so very happy that we got this, and it is always worth looking out for those deals because I hadn't heard anyone else speak about this deal before. So it's a complete surprise when I went into the shop, but I was so happy that I managed to get over the spending limit without even trying. It wasn't like I had to go around and pick extra bits just to get the deal. I was already spending the money, so I thought I might as well spend the extra €10 and get this massive photo as well to just remember the moment on Tower of Terror by. So we're getting on to the last few items of the haul now. I'm just going to show you a few of the other things that I did plan to buy. So one thing that I really liked the look of was the souvenir coins that you can get in Disneyland Paris. I think they're just a really affordable little souvenir, and you can get them for different designs that commemorate different parts of your trip. So I actually was looking for 2 of them, and I managed to find the 2 that I wanted. So the first one is this one, which is a 30th anniversary souvenir coin. It's just got Mickey on it and the 30th logo, and Disneyland Paris, and then on the back it's just got the Monnaie de Paris on it. And the coin was €3, which I thought was really good. I actually did also get a souvenir coin at the top of the Arc de Triomphe. They had the same brand of machines, and that was €2, so it's kind of a similar price to what you're going to be paying for souvenir coins anyway. And I just thought this was a really kind of cool way, if you didn't want to spend loads of money on 30th merchandise or anything like that, it's a really cheap way to get a little souvenir that just says that you were there during the 30th anniversary. And then the other coin that I picked up was this 2023 coin. It's got the same font and logo style as the pin that I got, and again it has Mickey on it, Disneyland Paris, and this one does say 2023 on the back, whereas the other one says 2022 because that's a slightly older coin. And again, it was €3. So there are the machines for these coins in the arcades down both sides of Main Street, Discovery Arcade and Liberty Arcade, and also underneath where you go under the railroad, so in the kind of tunnels as you're coming into the park. And that's where I found both of these coins. They also had like an Avengers Campus one and one with like Mickey and Minnie at the Eiffel Tower. They had quite a few options there. And because I knew I wanted these coins, I was just leaving the park and I thought, oh brilliant, found the one that I wanted and I got them there. But the place that I'd been planning to get them was in Disney Village. And we did go to Disney Village afterwards, after I'd already picked up the coins, and all of the machines there were actually out of order or sold out of their coins. So I would say if you spot one of these machines, just try and get the coins there, because I could have left it and gone on to Disney Village and got them there and tried to get them there, but I wouldn't have been able to get them. So luckily they do have these machines dotted over the parks, or dotted over the entrance to the parks. But I'm really glad I managed to get the coins that I wanted before it was too late and I couldn't get back into the parks because they were already closed. Now, kind of near where I got those coins, near the entrance to Disneyland, in one of the first shops on Main Street, as you go onto the right side, so not the Emporium side but the other side, I went into the very first shop there, and that's where I picked up my Pandora charm, but I also found one of the other items that I'd been hunting for throughout the trip, and it was this patch. So these I think are pretty new. I use a website called Pixie Dust, and they're a Disneyland merchandise kind of website where they show you what's new in the parks, and I only saw these come up in the January update, so they seem to be pretty new around the parks. They have lots of them. They have Big Thunder Mountain, they have Phantom Manor, they had a load of like Mickey ones, they had an Eiffel Tower one, but the one that I thought was just really cute was the castle. Now this was €8 and I didn't realise when I saw them online, but they are not to iron on. You do have to sew them if you want them to be permanent. It does say on the back if you want temporary application there is a paper backing and you can press them down, but I have a tote bag where I put my patches, so I think I'm going to be sewing this one on. But it's just gorgeous. It's got these clouds on it, it's got actually a silver lining with the clouds as well, which is pretty cool. And it's nice and big. It's a big patch, like sort of the size of my hand really. So yeah, I just thought this is so unique, and I mean, Disney seem to be following in the footsteps of a lot of Etsy sellers, but I do quite like the fact that this is official Disney and I managed to pick it up in the parks because I haven't seen many people talking about these. Now I think it is time to show you the final item that I bought. I haven't actually done this in like a sort of drum roll order, so it's not to say that this is the best thing that I bought, but it's just the last one that I'm picking up. And there is a little story before I show you what this is. So I had seen in a lot of people's hauls the souvenir maps that you can get that fold out. They were €8. People were saying they were selling them at the tills, like right where the kind of extra little bits that you can buy are. And I just didn't see them anywhere. I really, really wanted one, and I searched in every single shop, but by the end of the trip it was just looking really futile. And I'd seen this a few times, and I had said to my boyfriend, if I can't find the map anywhere, I will get this instead because it's a pretty good substitute. So I didn't find the map, so I had to pick this up. It's a puzzle of the map. So this is exactly the same design that the fold-out map would be, but it's in puzzle format, 1,000 pieces. And to be honest, I feel like I might be better off getting this because the folded map would have had a lot of creases in it when I would try to frame it, and I think I still am going to try and frame the puzzle when we do this, and it's a nice activity to do together. So it was of course a bit more expensive than getting the €8 paper map. This was €20, but I just think it's such a big size. It's actually 690 by 500 millimeters, so it's going to be a massive puzzle, but I'm really excited for making this, and I just think it's quite a cool thing that it's like the vintage map. My sister actually has the Disney Maps book, and she said that this map is in the book. As soon as I showed her, she was like, oh, I've seen that one before. So yeah, I think it's quite a cool design, and it's got the 30th logo on the top, so it does seem like it's only for the moment that they've got this in the parks, but this was in a lot of shops. It was in the Emporium, it was in the Walt Disney Studios shop, it was in World of Disney. I saw it everywhere, so yeah. Very happy that I got this, and that is actually everything that I got at Disneyland. Now I just thought I would take a moment to talk you through the tax refund. So we did make use of the tax refund on our trip because as we are now no longer in the EU, we are entitled to a refund on the tax that everyone else in the EU has to pay in France. So the way that it works for the UK is that we only pay 7% tax, so when you have made all of your purchases, you are able to get 13% tax back on eligible items. So there are a couple of requirements. One is that you spend over €100 in a shop. Now Disneyland Paris, the whole thing, so Disney Village, Walt Disney Studios Park and Disneyland Park, that all counts as one shop. So with all the stuff that I bought, you can probably tell I did spend over €100, so it was quite easy to accumulate that. And all you have to do is just make sure you keep your receipts from every shop. I brought an envelope with me and I just put them in there every time, so I wasn't hunting around for them at the end. But prior to the trip, we had thought the two places that you could do the tax refund at Disneyland Paris were City Hall in Disneyland Park or World of Disney in Disney Village. Now you can do it at City Hall, but they have actually changed it from being at World of Disney to Disney Fashion in Disney Village. So don't fret if you go to World of Disney and you can't see where the tax refund should be. It's in Disney Fashion, which is just a couple of shops down. So all that we had to do there was provide all of our receipts, and they created a total and sort of categorised what type of items we bought. Then we had to go over to another desk in the same shop where we gave our passport details and card details in, as well as the receipts and the breakdown of the costs, and that was then transferred into a printed A4 document which showed how much tax we would be getting back. And all we have to do with that is we took it to Gare du Nord when we were leaving. We went by the Eurostar back to London, so we went through passports, we went through security, everything like that, and then just opposite the duty free, after you've gone through all of the checks, there are self-serve machines, and Basically all you have to do is just scan the barcode on the A4 sheet, and it just says, is that all you want to do? If you've got more sheets, if you've done it over multiple days, then you can scan the others, because the other thing to remember is if you are in Disneyland Paris for an extended period of time, you have to do your tax refund on items within 2 days of purchasing them. So we were only there for 2 days, so that worked out fine for us, but if you are there over multiple days, it might be worth doing it every couple of days. I don't know exactly how that works with like building it all up, but I don't think your receipts can actually be processed if they're more than 2 days after the purchase date. But we only had the one A4 sheet, so we just scanned that, it said we were done, and that was it. I haven't received the money back yet. It's been about a week, just under a week since we came back, so I'm still waiting for the money from that, but hopefully all seems good, and we are getting 43 euros back, just from tax back, so it is worth doing. There are other shops that qualify for it, but I wasn't going to spend enough money in them, and it just seemed a lot more complicated than the Disney way, because that's the one that I looked into the most. So I just thought I'd share that on here if you are interested, because it is one of the only perks of leaving the EU, in my opinion, that we can get the tax back from France. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's given you some inspiration or just some information about what you could be buying in Disneyland Paris, and I hope to see you again in another video soon. Bye!